In this video, we'll configure the Service Request desktop application. This is in ArcMap using the Service Request toolbar. There's a configuration utility and then an option to set the zone layer and extract map data for the mobile. Let's start with the configuration utility. The configuration is fairly straightforward. There are a few pick lists to configure and then some geocoding options to set. We can first of all configure employees. The example employee name, we can delete that and then create our own. So we'll just add some values here, and you'll notice that I'm entering the same for name and for value. However, I could put something different for the value, such as the employee ID number. The name is what shows up on the pick lists in the program, and the value is what gets stored in the database. I can set up problem targets. So in this case, maybe I'll delete a few items, and perhaps I do take complaint calls for all of these other pests. So I'll leave those on the list. Supervisors, I can delete the example supervisor name and put in some other name. When a service request is created, whoever's creating them can assign them to a particular technician or leave them open and unassigned, and can optionally specify who the supervisor is as well. Under field notes, there's some examples of field notes here, such as a larviciding treatment was completed, or it was scheduled for larviciding or adulticiding, or so on. I can delete any of the ones that I don't like, and I can add my own. These field notes are intended to be just a shortcut on the mobile device. When the field tech responds to a service request and enters information about what they did, they can type in anything that they like, but commonly used field notes will show up in a drop down so that they don't have to retype them all the time. So that's it for the pick lists. Let's go to the geocoding page. In the geocoding page, we specify which address locator to use. In this case, I'm going to browse to my Esri street map data because it has a US street addresses address locator. Service request requires a .loc file. I can create my own address locator. The ArcGIS help will contain steps on how to do that. If you have up-to-date street data for your area, you could create your own address locator. Or even if you have address points, you can create an address locator from that. So what that allows you to do is do geocoding with accurate, authoritative, up-to-date address locator data. You are not stuck with the data that comes with ArcGIS, although it is pretty good. So we'll close that, and then we'll set the service request zone layer. That's already set to zones, and the name of the zones is in the name field. So what that means is that when service requests are created and then geocoded, they will automatically be assigned to a particular zone. Okay, that covers the configuration of service request in the desktop application. We'll cover entering and geocoding service requests in another video.